Now for the last announcement mail of the day, the Assistant General Preview. This is a system in the game that we knew was in the works. It went through a round of testing on newer servers a while back, and finally here it is fully released. Now before you get your hopes up, I'll say now that this change is a massive game changer. Much of what was true yesterday is no longer true. That being said, it would be impossible for me to adequately sum up the significance of this change in a single update video. For that reason, I'll be starting a new series that analyzes the implications of Assistant Generals. This video will give you a glimpse at what it's all about, but it will only touch the surface. Expect much discussion on this topic in the future. The language of the mail is going to confuse a lot of people, I'm sure. To be fair, my interpretations of this mail may end up having inaccuracies that will need to be addressed in future videos as well. Oh well, let's dig into this new feature. Here's what the Assistant General feature brings to the game. As of today, July 1st, 2022, it is now possible to send an accompanying general with your primary general on all rallies and marches. There are some limitations to the effectiveness of sending an assistant. However, everyone in the game has just received a huge power spike. Bosses that you couldn't defeat before are now going to be significantly easier. Players that were untouchable in the past might now be in danger. Gathering and bosses will also be more effective. Wall generals are now a bit stronger as well. If your primary general is at least level 20 and enhanced to 3 stars, it can take another general with it on marches. This has no impact on the primary general. Everything about the first general is still fully active as it was in the past. However, the assistant general does have a few limitations. The first limitation is that the attributes of the assistant general are ignored. You'll actually see them grayed out when you inspect the assistant. The Assistant General's equipment is also completely irrelevant. Evony wants the Assistant General to fight in the nude. It really puts the ass in assistant, doesn't it? Maybe a more appropriate name for this feature would have been the Concubine General feature. In case you weren't aware, dragons and spirit beasts are considered equipment. Therefore, the refines and skills of dragons are not expected to function on the Assistant General. Unfortunately, dragons that have a requirement of a dragon to make full use of their primary skill book, such as Martinez, would still have to equip a general even though the benefits of the dragon will not actually apply. The skill books of the Assistant General will work as long as they are not duplicates of any books currently on the primary general. If you inspect the Assistant General, you'll actually see duplicate books grayed out if they will not take effect. The specialties of the Assistant General will work as long as the requirements are met. For example, if you have a specialty that requires you to have a dragon equipped, it will work as long as that requirement is fulfilled. Ascension of Assistant Generals will have no effect. Thank goodness. Specialties being active for Assistant Generals furthers the disparity between spenders and free-to-play. I can't even imagine how much worse Ascension would have been. It's a very exciting change, and with this change comes a mixture of feelings. It's a fantastic change for personal growth. The boost to gathering, bosses, and more is a welcome addition. I'm super excited about that. It's also a very exciting change for aggressive playstyles. Individual marches and rallies are now much stronger, and people on the wrong end of those attacks are in for a world of hurt. Now for the bad news. Since the Keep 40 change, the defensive and offensive balance of the game had already developed massive issues. The increased size of marches and rallies have made mounting an effective defense an impossibility for nearly every player out there. You just can't defend against the massive rallies people can throw at you these days. Battlefield is no longer a competition of alliance versus alliance. It's a game of whack-a-mole, where alliances are constantly trying to hit players that teleport around the map. What choice do they have? They can't defend against a rally, so the only way to play this war game is to avoid fighting. It sounds pretty stupid when you consider that the new meta of a supposed war game is to completely avoid fighting at all. It just doesn't seem right. What does this have to do with Assistant Generals? Well, defense has received a small boost with the ability to add an assistant wall general, but the already overpowered offense have comparatively gotten even stronger. Like I said, it's a great change for individual day-to-day play, but Assistant Generals even further take the war element out of this game. At this point, I feel like the only way to create balance in this game is to substantially increase the defensive capabilities of players. My suggestion would be to completely redesign how traps function. I mean, they are in the game. How about you make them useful, Evony? Redesign traps in a way that will allow players, free-to-play and spenders alike, to have a fighting chance at defending with or without reinforcements. Yes, it's fun to zero people in big hits, but you know what's not fun? Zeroing everyone in 5 minutes and then having to wait 115 minutes for Battlefield to end. While you're at it, why not redesign the hospital and bunker to be percentage-based rather than capped at specific numbers? Increase the speed and reduce the cost of healing. I'm not talking just a little, I'm talking astronomically. Useless buildings should be made useful and scalable so that all players can actually use them. Evony is supposed to be a war game. We are supposed to be fighting. Warring between keeps and alliances should be an everyday constant. The only constant in this game right now is the necessity of the bubble. We farm away under the protection of a bubble because the game is designed so poorly that you can lose everything in a matter of seconds with no ability to recover and bounce back. I dream of the day where bubbling is an option and not a necessity. Guys, can you imagine what this game would be like if you could actually recover after being attacked, where you might wake up and find that your city had been attacked and decide to heal up over the next few hours to organize an attack against your enemy, where you could battle other players in a war game rather than sit in a bubble gathering and hunting bosses? This game would actually be fun to play. Gosh, I'm such a dreamer. Thank you so much for watching this video and supporting the channel. If you liked what you saw, please consider hitting the like button and checking out other videos on the Miser's Guide to Evony. I'll see you in the next video.